Welcome to the Impactful Engineer Project. I'm Steve Maxey, and with my co-host and brother Jake, we are here to bring you guidance, fresh ideas, and the tools to help you become an impactful engineer.
Welcome to the Impactful Engineer. Our mission is to help you grow your engineering career and inspire you to pursue your full potential, not only as an engineering professional, but as a member of your greater community. I'm Jake Maxey. I'm a professional electrical engineer for the MEP firm Hallam ICS. I'm here with my brother Steve and a guest today. My brother Steve is a mechanical engineering manager in new product development for Klein Tools.
And within this podcast, we do have a few episode formats. First is our most common episode type, which is Jake and I presenting a topic where we introduce the why and the how around that topic and give some tips to inspire some action. And also, we occasionally will have a quick solo episode that immediately gets down to the point and it shares an idea with you that is critical to growing your career. These can be high-level concepts that change your thinking and mindsets to more detailed topics to inspire some specific actions.
And today, this is our long format guest episode. We bring in an expert in a particular field or just someone that is very passionate about what they do and has a great message that they want to share with the audience. We bring them in, share their perspective, their mindset, any actionable tips to get you guys going. So today's guest started his engineering journey with a bachelor's degree from the University of Laval, followed by obtaining his master's from Polytechnique Montreal, both in civil engineering. Like most engineering graduates, he started his career in industry, but soon found that he wanted to pursue his own path, which led him to start his own firm. And maybe we'll talk a little more about that. This is often a dream of many engineers. So listen in, guys, if this is where you want to go. But only a few take that risk. And it presents a unique challenge from shifting your focus from typical technical-based engineering work to the human side of engineering. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. I'd like to welcome Dominic Michaud to the show. And hopefully I said that right, but you can correct me. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Jake. It's Michaud. Maybe more a French turn of the word, but yeah. Hi, Jake. Hi, Steve.
Yeah, welcome to the show, Dominic. It's awesome to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, and before we start talking about the that shift from like a technical focus to the more human side of engineering, can you kind of give us that a bit more detail on your background after graduation, through industry, and kind of what led you down that path that you're on now?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm mostly, but the reason I chose civil engineering is because I want to design things. I want to be more of a technical guy. At the basis of myself, I'm mostly an introvert guy. I'm good when I'm calm, and I'm calm in my office. I work on things. I think about things, and that's what I started doing when I started in the industry, and that's something we need in firms. We need people that are technical focused, that are great at designing things. That's part of the engineering world. So I started designing buildings in a consulting firm close to Montreal. Then I wanted to move back to where I came from. My wife came from, so we came back to Quebec City, and I started at another office there. And the thing is that I realized that most of the boss I've had at these places were mostly focused on the human side. They were not the greatest designer. They were mostly great with selling things to customer, talking to employees, talking to colleagues, and that's when I realized the big difference from myself compared to them, and that the first place I worked, it also caused a few problems with the owner of the business, because I was so different from him that at one point I felt undervalued, because he didn't include me in the important meetings. He didn't include me in business growth because he considered other engineers in the firm which were more similar to him to be most likely to follow his path, and that's one of the reasons I had to leave this place. So a few years after that, I'm back in Quebec City. I work with colleagues, new bosses. Some of them we have a great fit. Others, mostly some colleagues over there, I feel like they once again, I feel like they might undervalue the typical introvert guy that doesn't well, it didn't fit with them. So that's at that point, I think there was a shift in my head. I realized maybe, yeah, there's a problem with these guys, but maybe there's a problem with myself that I have to find a way to connect to them to try to figure out why I can't feel why they're not including me, and how I can work on this to make myself be more to show my value to them.
Yeah. That, and I'm excited about this because that is something to applaud, like as loud as possible. The hey, we all think there's something wrong with the other people. Right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do this? Or we put it on them, and then but that shift to think, all right, this is what is. So how do I change my behavior or operate, or the way that I operate, to make what is what I want to be what is, right? How do I work within this system that is already here to get myself into the position that I want to be as well, right? And that when you shift your mind to that, that's when great things start happening.
Yeah, well, I kid myself into thinking I try to study how humans behave, because sometimes I tell myself I might not be that much of a human, but I want to see how these humans will work out. So that's in these years, I started listening to a bunch of audiobooks and try to figure out, all right, what should I learn about these humans?
Let's engineer this.
yeah, let's engineer this.
Let's break this down.
Yeah. So, well, in these years, there weren't many engineering jobs in Quebec. There was a downtime in construction, and it's a year where the firm where I was working, they lost 3 engineers, and since I was one of the young ones, well, I was let go from there. So that's the point. Well, you said I took a risk in launching myself in a business, but I was pushed on this. And also, well, I have to say, I didn't look for another job. I already told one of my colleagues, all right, if I have to go, I'll work for myself, and I'll try to make things work on my own. So that's where I started working by myself in my basement, and I worked with some draftmen that were contributing to some projects. I did this for about a year, working by myself. So that was great. I was alone. I was doing my things. But after a while, I figured out, I want to go out. I want to see people. So I found an associate who was, I was mostly in building design. And this guy was an engineer, but he wasn't designing buildings. He was renting temporary work equipment. So he was designing formworks, shoring systems, and so it's something that scaffolding as well. So that's a branch I wasn't working on. So we were complementary. I didn't do what he did, and he didn't do what I was doing. So I figured out, all right, let's try to do something with this guy. And also, since, well, he's completely at the opposite of myself. He's a guy that will talk to customer, he wants to go on the site just to see people, shake hands, and so I figured out, all right, that might be the guy that will help me sell the expertise I can bring.
Yeah.
And also we have meetings to figure out, all right, how is this structural thing going to behave? We see each other's value, and that's where we found a great opportunity to get a business going. So yeah, that's where we started hiring, trying to build a team. So we got up to a team of 12. So, and funny thing, I mostly run the interviews. I ask questions. I try to figure out, all right, which guy is going to be the best for this job. So I started analyzing how these engineers or draftsmen, while trying to profile their strength, their weakness, and try to figure out, all right, this guy has a great strength there. We can take him on a team. I've had an engineer who was great at talking to customers, trying to get solution. If something else doesn't work, he goes on the site, he figure out a way to make the things work. But this guy is always going to ask me for help to design solutions, and I have to accept this because he's so good at these things that he's never going to be at my level on my particular expertise. So that's where we have to figure out the right seat for the person on your team.
What Dominic is talking about, pairing strengths and weaknesses, we've done many times, right?
Yes, absolutely.
For running this podcast, for trying to help each other figure things out. So, and we know how important it is for a team to get those pairings correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, in my experience, you never want to hire the same type of engineering profile that you are, right? You always want to look for different profiles that have different strengths in different areas, because that's how you get a really effective team.
Well, that's a problem we see at many places, that there's a boss that is very people centric, and he's promoting every employee that's just like him. So he ends up with a team of copies of himself. So yeah, and I think just exactly that's bringing a big weaknesses in his team.
Yep, absolutely, and it creates a bias that the individual contributors notice, and then they will get deflated because, oh, I don't fit that profile, so that means my career growth is going to be limited, so I'm just going to look elsewhere. And then he loses all the technical people, and now he's just left with the people who are carbon copies of himself, right? So, that's something you have to be mindful as a business owner or a manager, etc., is to make sure that you are advocating for different strengths and promoting based off the merits of those strengths.
Hey, my fellow impactful engineers, if there's one thing that you could do to help out this community, is to keep listening to the podcast, but also that if you found value in it, to share it with one person, give us a 5-star review, or even leave a text review. It'll only take a few seconds of your time. Find that person that you think could enjoy some of this or learn from it, and pass on the good word. Now back to the show.
Yeah. So, Dominic, going from introvert, working in your basement, trying to figure out these humans, and all of a sudden now you're a business owner, right? And you're talking about assembling teams. What's the biggest hurdle or thing that you're working on now? Or does something stick out in your mind about something that you overcame or that you're dealing with that is along the lines of now needing to lead, right? And how do I change my behavior?
Well, there's always trying to find the balance in how to manage people. I mean, it's easy to say, to try to micromanage and say, all right, this design is not good, I'll show him how to do it. So you have to figure out how to teach people, how to coach people, and get them to understand how to design things. So, and I think that's the main challenge.
Have you had to essentially let them almost find out the hard way, right? Where they try to do a design and they fail in that design as a learning process.
That's one of the problems I've had at the beginning. I gave too many answers, so I had to stop giving answers and try to, all right, that doesn't work. Here's what does not work, and try to figure it out. And he's gonna spend. Well, I mean, I'm the owner. I'm paying him to waste his time, so that's a hard thing to do. So Yeah, so it's easier to just give the answer. It just cut our loss, but yeah, it's not good for the engineer just to give the straight answer. Even though I'm losing money, I'm in asking him to figure it out himself. So I have to try to show him part of the solution and let him work on this.
Yeah, it's those short-term gains versus the long-term, right? So
Yeah.
you're trying to build up an engineer to be so effective or even more effective than you for those long-term benefits of being able to execute on work, rather than just trying to, oh, here's the answer, here's the answer, here's the answer, and then all of a sudden it's just like that dependent animal that always just wants the free food, right, and doesn't actually go out and hunt for its own food. So
Also, the hard thing about the building long term is that these days, I know I'll sound old talking like that, but we have guys coming in. They work for us with us for 2 years, and then they leave. So, I've had to work to get this guy to the right level and put a lot of effort in this guy. And if he leaves after 2 years, I failed. I mean, I lost so much time working on this guy that it's well, maybe 1 year to a year and a half. It's a net loss if he leaves in this time lapse. 2 years, I think I gained. I've had a good trade, an acceptable trade, but I still it's not a great value to work that much on having an engineer learn and get better at something and having him leave that quick.
Yeah.
So,
I've had that happen to me as well. Or I had an engineer come in from right out of school. We developed him, and by a year and a half in, he was getting really effective. And then by 2 years in, you can count on him to accomplish all these tasks. And then he decided he wanted to pursue a different area of industry, and so he leaves. And at first, you feel like you're super deflated. You're like, oh man, I put in all this effort, and then now I have to retrain, et cetera, et cetera. But I think the silver lining on that is, if you are developing these people and they become excellent engineers and they have a great experience working for you and they go elsewhere, you created an advocate for your company that is out in the world working with other people. And maybe they run into other engineers that are looking for work, and you're like, hey, I worked for Dominic and he was awesome. I learned so much there. I grew as an engineer, etc. And here's his email, and now you have an advocate out there spreading the word for your own company. So I think that's something to try to keep in mind as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's a bit reassuring with all the work we put on the human. Yeah.
Right. You could bring this to the team level too. So those people listening that are newly promoted to team leads, or you got your first, direct report, or even find yourself in this sphere yourself, not leading anybody, but just being a part of it, that this is always happening. You don't have to own a business, you own you are a part of that team that owns a part of the process of the business. And so you can always be thinking about this too. It's like as a team lead, you're building up that new grad to become a great engineer at this place that you work and at what you do, right? But like you said, Steve, you're building an advocate. You're building someone that's going to be great at what they do somewhere else too, if that's what they choose, right? And that's a good reflection on you and the company that they worked with. It's like, so now you have that advocate, but also I wanted to make the point of, as you train the person up, you could be looking for ways to make it a net positive by either systematizing things or having that person, as they learn, document that journey and leave breadcrumbs for people when they leave as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've had guys record themselves working on some programs or some designs, so we can keep this in the business. So that's one way to retain the knowledge, and it's important, or else you're just losing everything as he leaves. It's strange to ask someone to document something, because in the back of our heads we know that's because he might leave someday, and that's like telling him, well, the day you're gonna leave, at least we're gonna have this left. So it's talking to the guy about when he's going to leave. But I think if we're realistic, everyone knows that someday, well, this guy's going to leave, this guy's going to leave too, maybe 5 years apart, but we all know that.
Yeah. And you can reframe that as, we respect your expertise and your ability to execute on these things. But we're also hiring new grads still. We're still bringing more people on the team. And so we want to have your expertise be part of our onboarding process, right? So we're recording how you do this job. So that way, when this new grad joins the team, they can watch your recording. You don't have to sit there over their shoulder, and they can learn how you do it, and onboard and quickly rise to an effective level.
Yeah, and one day you might be taking on that new hire, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't you want a system that brings them up to speed pretty quick with minimal effort from you, right?
Yeah, onboarding.
Yep, exactly.
Oh, good old onboarding. I have co-ops every semester, and I try to never miss one. I haven't yet, but we immediately use the onboarding that we created from the last semester to start the new one, and then we get feedback, we make it better, we add to it, and then when they leave, they know they're passing on some additional onboarding to the next person, and then we use that, and then we say what could be better, and then we do it better. It's kind of a fun way to build some effective training.
That makes me think about the governments. They get so big, and that everyone just keeps adding new layers on top of all layers, and it just never ends. So sometimes you have to clean up the old onboardings and
Absolutely, yeah.
Lots of deleting.
Yeah. For as much as you add, you need to delete also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you, when you started thinking about this, like, I got to figure out these humans, I'm going to do some personal development, I'm going to try to grow. Did you have any favorite, like, podcasts? You said some audiobooks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I think we talked about how I came up to be a consulting firm. That there's a part of this. Well, you guys know about it, and I didn't talk about it here yet. But I'm a big fan of audio learning and podcast, audiobook. There's a bunch of books I've listened to. I can't really list them up because there are so many books I listen to that I wouldn't know which one to point. But also the other part of this is I always have new ideas, projects in mind, and I worked on Autopod, which is the training platform for engineers, mostly located in we're aiming at Canada at the moment, but we'll see where it brings us. But it's for the continuous training for engineers in the audio book or podcast format. So I've had the chance to add some of your podcasts to our list, and so those are the kind of things that I like to listen to when I'm in my car. Let's just try to learn something new. Listen to these guys. Listen to this audiobook, and try to get something fresh in my head to try to evolve myself.
Yeah, I'm
you have
doing that all the time.
You have an English version of the website up now, don't you?
Yeah. Autopod was launched with an English version last summer. So that's when I added some of your content.
Yeah.
I've had one of your guests also on Autopod, Jeff. What's his last name?
Oh, Jeff Perry.
Yeah, Jeff Perry. I've had him on Autopod.
The intentional
and I'm
engineer.
working. Sorry.
The intentional engineer.
Yeah.
He's got good. He's got good stuff.
Yeah, sure. And I'm adding a few things in the following months. I've hired someone new full time to work on Autobots, so it's gonna start to fly in the next year. So I can't wait to see this go. Yeah. So
So just real quick, just so people can find that, what is the website URL?
Well, it's otopod.com. So this will bring you to the website.
Perfect. Yeah, and we could put those in the show notes as well. But it's good to have it on the audio.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's just it's since it was such a big part in my learning growth. That's why I thought, yeah, that's a project that fits, that suits me, and yeah.
That's the
that's
same
awesome.
hope we have.
Yeah, exactly.
So how is business going at your consulting firm?
Yeah, well, it's going great. I mean, we're there's so much construction at the moment that
Yeah.
the hard thing is trying to find people to hire. I mean, we've been looking for someone for about a year. We found one. We had to let him go because it didn't work out. We've had a few names that we well we passed a few engineers in interview, but we just found one guy that's going to start next Monday, so I can't wait to see how it goes with him. But I have good hopes for him. But still, we've hired him, and I'd like to have another one on the team, so let's just keep on looking for someone else. So I mean, there's just so much job that um, we can't stay afloat through this. So what we do mostly, our customers are mostly contractors that repair bridges, construct new bridges or some buildings, but mostly on bridges. And we give them temporary work engineering. I mean, sometimes when you have a bridge, you want to change the 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 the, the the system it's sitting on. Sometimes we have to jack the bridge to repair its sitting, its foundation. So that's the kind of design we do. How we're gonna jack the bridge. We still have traffic going on top of it. So how are we gonna deal with this? Form works on bridges, and yeah, there's a lot of work in that branch.
And is this something that takes a professional engineer to do? Are you stamping these?
Yeah, we're stamping things. I mean, we have a traffic going on top of a jacked bridge,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
It goes without saying.
Oh, does it? I'm sure someone was like, "Oh yeah, of course, Jake." Cool.
So just kind of wrapping up on some of the things that we're talking about. Do you have any advice for some technical professionals that are aiming to improve their leadership or communication skills, kind of pulling away from the technical side of things from your experiences?
advice. Well, I would say the first step is to recognize that you have something to learn. When you do recognize this, it's really hard to give a good tip to someone that I don't know, because there could be many different tips depending on the guy I'm talking to. So I think the best thing I could do is ask your boss this question. I mean, go talk to someone that will see, yeah, you lack in this field. Maybe you could get some help by just reading this or consulting this person, or just you might have a great direct tip tailored for you.
Yeah, no, I like that, because it's you're basically asking for, what are your blind spots, right? Well, what are the things that you don't know about yourself that other people observe that is a deficiency in how you operate? And so, who are the best people to talk to identify those blind spots, so you can move them out of that area and start working on them, right? And those are your colleagues, your supervisors. I mean, even your spouse oftentimes, right? You can, I mean, you have to swallow some pride there, but you have to ask your significant other and be like, hey, how am I screwing this up? And I'm sure they'll be nice about it, or not, but they'll identify that, and then now you can actually work on it, because if you don't know,
if you don't get an answer, ask the question again and again and again, and you'll end up having an answer, because they might be shy giving you this straight up.
Yeah, I like to preface it with, like, set it up. Like, say, hey, I release it all. There's nothing that I'm going to take personally. There's nothing, like, I'm not going to run with this information to somebody or hold it against you. Just like, you got to let me know,
We talked about audiobooks earlier. Did you guys listen to Radical Candor?
Oh yeah,
Steve has.
Yeah, I've read the book.
That's a great book. Yeah, considering what we're talking about right now, it's you want to figure out a way to give the truest answer to someone and just be right in their face without hurting them. That's that's a great way to do it. Yep.
Yeah. Radical Candor by Kim Scott. It's an excellent book. I recommend it to almost all of the people that I communicate with when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like when you're talking about soliciting feedback from your peers or people that are right at your level or maybe a little below, like I think that's where the good stuff comes from because they'll just let you have it. I think like with your direct boss, they're like, oh, they're worried about being a boss and they're worried about delivering it the right way. And okay, we're going to set up a plan and it just might be totally overblown. All you want is an answer, right? So I would say go with someone that like is the easiest route to get some feedback to start, not start at the top. Unless you have a really good relationship with your boss and your boss is a radical candor kind of person, then yeah, sure. But yeah, so like don't limit yourself to one level or one person. Like go all through the levels and all the people and just be upfront saying this is a active part of my growth is I'm going to ask people for honest feedback.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And as we said, sometimes it's hard to get the real honest one. So you have to insist to get a real answer.
Yeah. And I know that this is something that Jake originally struggled with. I'm going to call you out here. Is when you get that feedback, you have to just listen and don't try to form a rebuttal, push back on it, give reasonings of why, etc. You just have to listen, take it, and then say thank you for give me that, and I will work on changing your perception on that. Because even if you feel that perception is incorrect, it's true for someone else. And so how do you address it to change their perspective?
Yeah, it all comes back to the thing I fall back on all the time is what ought to be from your perspective, and then there's what is from other people's perspective. And you have to weigh that. Is it worth doing what I need to do to change that perspective? Yes or no? And then do the things that you need to do to change the perspective. Like there's no other way around it. You have to do the things. So it's a tough one to do though.
Yep. Especially for engineers.
Oh man, but you don't have all the context, Steve.
Yeah, I know. You don't have all the data.
You don't know what I was thinking. You don't know all the. Yeah, let me explain this to you, and then you've defeated the point of asking for feedback. Because then they go, "Oh, this is what I'm going to get when I get feedback. I ain't giving no more."
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's just how it goes. So
yeah, exactly. All right.
Like
so we do have a few or a couple common questions that we like to ask all of our guests. So I'll start out with mine, and we kind of already touched on a little bit, but from your experiences and perspective, what fundamental characteristic or skill sets the example to be an impactful engineer?
Yeah, well, I think we've been talking about this during all the podcast, but yeah, what I had in mind for this question is that you have to be able to recognize and identify the strength of others, and you also have to understand that if they have big strength where you're weak, they're going to be weak where you have your strength. So you have to accept this and figure out a way to maybe mix them with someone else in their team that will help them in their weakness, and try to figure out how to get this guy being efficient with his strength.
Yep, absolutely. That's perfect.
That's where I've seen some of the biggest impact. And it's not like purposely going, all right, you're strong in this and I'm weak in this. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to, you don't like lay it out. You just kind of like, you get to know each other. You do discuss at a high level what strengths you have, what weaknesses, but it's pretty clear when you're working with someone. So then you can see the pieces to move into place to complement each other's skills. But yeah, and sometimes you do want to work hard on increasing a weakness, but a lot of the times you want to just work on leaning into the strengths, right? Because that'll get you a better outcome. Yeah. But my question. What's my question? Oh yeah. If you were to recommend, I mean, this is hard for an engineer because it's always like, what's the one thing that they can do? But yeah, for someone to just take action immediately, like, hey, go listen to a podcast or do this or do that. Like, is there one action someone could take just to immediately get started?
I think the best improvement you can have is if you figure out where you have your weakness, where you're good, and also what's your blind spot. So go talk to someone, ask a question. You said to your spouse or to your boss or to a colleague to try to figure out where your weakness reside, and then you'll be able to figure out a way to improve on these.
Yeah, that's a great first action to take. Expect some like awkwardness, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like Dominic said, keep going, keep asking.
Yeah. And you might get a softball answer the first time, right? So you'll get something that's a little light and you're like, well, that's not really what I was trying to solicit. I wanted something that was like real meaty that I could really dig into and work on. Maybe that's because they're not comfortable giving you that real hard feedback. And so to get that comfort level, you have to take action on the feedback they did give you, make the corrections, and showcase that you put the effort to change their perspective on that softball item, and then ask again. And then that's when you're going to get a harder one or a tougher piece of feedback. And then you just repeat that cycle. And then that's when you'll start to get to the real good stuff.
Yeah, I said earlier that I was having engineers pass through interviews at our firm, and that's one of the things I learned. When you ask a question to someone, and if he doesn't want to answer, he's going to figure out a way to try to avoid it. Mm-hmm. So just get right back to the same question, ask again. You might want to tweak a question, change something, but ask again and wait. If you have to wait 10 seconds just to get an answer, and if he doesn't talk, just look at him and wait. He'll start talking and he'll give you something.
They're just as uncomfortable with that as you are.
Yeah. Yep. Well, when I learned about this, I started having fun just to talk to someone, ask a question, and just wait. Because I'll try to fill the blank, but try this, and then you'll have fun just waiting at someone to answer you.
Yeah,
that's such a good point. Because we'll try to save the whole thing, right? We'll ask, and then oh, this is weird, and then but if you don't have an answer, I mean, you don't have to today, and just think about it, and you'll talk yourself right out of it.
Yeah, just great. 10 seconds. Wait 10 seconds. Just wait. It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and oftentimes you'll, and I did this especially when I first started doing a lot of interviews, is you'll ask a question and they're not really giving you the answer, and you start giving them the answer. You start filling in all the blanks, and that's not what you want. So yeah, just sit there, smile, and wait.
So gonna do that next time.
Oh, it's fun.
Well, Steve, I didn't want to touch on something before we go. I know we're kind of wrapping it up, but you had it's one of those nuancy things I want to talk about. You'd said they'll give you the really tough stuff once you've gained some trust, maybe, or fielded that softball, and then you come back. But I would say that the tough feedback where you think it's going to be something that's going to be like, oh man, that will change my career. Thank you for saying that. And you're going to run with it and fix it. Like that almost never comes, right? And you almost never agree. Like it does come, but it comes in the form of really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? I thought I was great at that. Really? Because then you have this huge perception problem. So like, that's where I found in my career and my experience is that when I go, that's where the meat is. It's like, wow, I thought I was actually really good at that. And they just serve me up something where I'm like, there's no way you could possibly think that. That's where I've found the really good stuff. It's like, oh my God, I thought I was really good at this. And maybe that has caused me to ignore it or just think that I had it. And I'm not doing so well on it.
Try to ask someone else to see if someone else thinks the same. It might help defend his point of view.
Yeah. Validate. And of course, guys, there's always feedback that it's like, okay, we're just going to take that one and we're going to toss it in the trash can. Like there is feedback like that. So, but don't let that stop you from going and soliciting it. Right. Anything you want to end with, Steve?
Nope. No, that's all I have. I mean, in my head, I was like, oh yeah, I've gotten those types of feedback. You're just like, huh? Really?
Any last thoughts, Dominic?
No, that's it.
All right. It was great having you on. I didn't bring up the cat shirt, but I love the cat shirt. Of course, nobody could see this because we're audio only, but
that shirt is it's just enough to say I didn't come with a t-shirt, but I'll be not too serious.
Yeah, right. That's perfect.
Awesome. All right.
Yep.
Go out there, be impactful, go solicit some feedback, start talking to these humans and figure out what they're doing. And get yourself a cat shirt so you can not take it too seriously.
It's a
Thanks
pink
again.
cat shirt just to add
Just
up
to build
to
the
this.
vibe.
Yep.
Button down. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Take it easy.